Ladies and gentlemen, our viewers have been pointing out that this show is getting a little too highbrow lately. And it stops right here, right now. Tonight's feature is Spartacus and the Ten Gladiators from 1964. Swords and Sandals, roll it!
He knows how to defend himself.
It makes no difference. The fight is quite hopeless anyway.
See that? Why, he's not afraid of anybody.
By all the gods, he's crazy. Why did he do that? Bring him back here before he ruins me!
That should silence my critics. This show is too highbrow. Gladiators in the arena. Part of the reason I picked this movie was because it starts up hot and never really slows down. By now, you may have caught on to the fact that this movie has little to do with Spartacus, and nobody is going to confuse it with Stanley Kubrick's epic masterpiece from 1960. This is actually the second in a series of 3 movies starring the 10 Gladiators. 10 Italian weightlifters who weren't too ugly in scanty costumes, Italian sandals, and swords. Some of them can even handle simple dialogue. How can that miss? The first movie was The 10 Gladiators, followed by tonight's feature, Spartacus and the 10 Gladiators, and the final installment, Triumph of the 10 Gladiators. The first movie was released in 1963. Both sequels were released in 1964, so they were probably shot together. That's some smart movie making there. Tonight's star, Dan Vadis, had his character die at the end of the first movie, so I guess they weren't anticipating a sequel. But they didn't let that get in the way of Dan Vadis starring in the sequel and the next one, when that first movie proved popular. Doesn't this guy look like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Chuck Norris had a baby? That's exactly the kind of movie Arnold and Chuck would have made if they were acting in 1964. You are watching Cheese Theater.
I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid I don't know what to say. Is there anything we can do?
Perhaps there is. Go tell Varro that if he permits us to leave without interfering, when I get back to Thrace, I will send him the ransom money for myself and all of my companions. Very soon, a few of us are going down to the coast to look for some ships. And when we have found them, we will come back here and collect the women, babies, and men for the journey. Then we'll leave immediately.
I'll speak with Varro. I think I might convince him.
Check out the fighting style on these gladiators. They often discard their weapons in order to go mano-a-mano. Reminds me of how Chuck Norris will take out a bad guy, then step over the machine gun on his way to the next bad guy. Anybody can shoot a gun, but only Chuck can open up that particular can of whoop-ass. These guys try the same, but they have this unique Greco-Roman fighting style. Looks kind of funny, but it makes sense. Roman gladiators would look pretty silly using karate. Me, I'm pretty much a sword guy.
Oh, no! Come, you can't stay here any longer.
Come on, you two.
Keep moving. Get out of my way. Walk faster. Come on. Don't take all day. Get along there.
My director just quoted some guy who said, "The pen is mightier than the sword." Seems like I've heard that someplace before. Who is this guy? This guy who thinks the pen is mightier than the sword? I want to meet him. I have a few questions for him. Hey, pen boy, come here. I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk. We now return to Cheese Theater.
Hey, look at that. I wonder where that wagon's going.
Get him, men.
Sound asleep.
Inform the archery team. They must practice before evening.
Well, I think a point's been made. That pen is clearly not mightier than this sword. Of all the executions I've ever seen on film, hanging by a hand from a tree for archery practice has got to be one of the wildest. How do they keep them from spinning around? But it makes for a really great movie scene, visually striking. One of the many redeeming values of this Italian epic. I'm getting a message that my director wants to talk to me. Something about a missing pen. I'll have to go deal with that and get back to you later. You are continuing to watch Cheese Theater.
I don't like this silence, Spartacus.
Halt, men. It's a trap, men. Let's try to break through.
Now we're surrounded. They're attacking us from the rear.
That's the corpse of General Claudius.
It's Pharaoh's corpse that I want to see, rotted and picked apart by carrion.
Let's go look for him.
Turns out they sell these pens by the box, or so my director tells me. Go figure. However, will we deal with that? Problem? Solution. I love the way these ancient Romans are so concerned about human rights violations. My understanding of history was that human rights violations were what the Roman Empire was all about. Maybe the Italians in the 1960s were shy about their slave-beating ancestral past. But as we say around here, who cares? And this movie is pretty much fun. There's still plenty of action left in this mozzarella masterpiece, so let's get back to it. You will now continue to watch Cheese Theater.
Look, Spartacus, what a wonderful sight. No one will stop us from leaving for our own country now.
One battle will never be enough to convince Rome. Other men will always try to keep us from our freedom. Our only real victory was in our rebelling and in proving that no man on earth should be a slave.
I've read online reviews of this movie which point out that the final battle scene is actually footage from another movie. They say that like it's a bad thing. We don't care. It's a great battle scene. But it's time for me to go back to trolling the public domain for next week's feature. Join us again next time and see how we do.
Getting a little heavy in there, kids.